Well, I got some more van issues. Now, obviously, I mentioned yesterday the tire blew out on the van, so I had to come to the house. I took one of the tires off of my truck, the last one that's not extremely old, and I went ahead, I took it on my bike. It was fun riding a mile with a tire and a wheel that big, and basically I put it on the bicycle basket. I had it strapped to my back. I was riding about a mile, and I was able to install it on the van, and I got the van back home. Well, I ran into another problem, and this problem is a little interesting. My air conditioning just wasn't that cold anymore, so I thought, oh no, I must have a leak. But I put the refrigerant oil with dye in it, and I also double checked. I used a little stethoscope thing, and I also took the flashlight last night. I have the little UV flashlight that I got at Harbor Freight, and I couldn't find anything. I mean, there was a little bit of oil, but that's from when I assembled the system. So I went ahead and I connected my gauge set. Now, as you can see, the gauge set, it's kind of in a normal range here. I was just running it, so it's a little bit lower on the low side. High side's about close to 100. So it's in the normal pressure range. So I'm thinking, well, when I drove the van back, the AC was cycling on and off. So what's going on? So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to start it up. Now again, I thought maybe there's a leak, and there could be a leak for all I know. But this is going to be the test. I have my own suspicion. I think what's happening is there's some hidden dirt somewhere in the system, because remember, it has this long line that goes to the back, and even though I cleaned it with lacquer thinner, you can never get all the garbage out of these systems. The orifice tube up front could be getting blocked up, or the expansion valve I put in the rear could be getting blocked up. So let me go ahead and start up the van. Okay, now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to turn on the air conditioning. So we'll go ahead and put it on max AC, put the fans on. Now let's take a look at these gauges. Now you can see the high side is starting to climb, although somewhat slowly. The low side, it's starting to decrease. So it seems to be working normally. So what I'm going to speed up the engine a little bit. And you can see the high side is climbing, the low side is going down. Everything seems to be in the normal range. And there's nice cool air coming out. But something interesting is happening. Low side's not doing much, but look at the high side. It's going up quite a bit. That's not a good sign. Speed it up. Yeah, it looks like we're over 300. It's getting pretty high. And the low side, it's kind of down. Well, it's not too bad. It's in the normal range. But look at the high side keeps climbing. So what this is telling me is that there's a restriction somewhere in the system. High side should not be that high. Now the pressure's going down. Okay, at idle, it's okay. And that kind of falls in line with the air conditioning. It's blowing very nice at idle. But when you start speeding up, it starts to climb. That's not good. Having that kind of pressure in the system can damage a compressor. It can blow out a hose. You can even blow the relief valve and discharge refrigerant. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more with this system. Now again, air out of these vents. That's a good sign. And right now it feels pretty good, although the high side is still way too high. That should not be 300 pounds. I just started this thing. So my next step is going to be pretty simple. First of all, I'm going to turn it off. And as you can see, as soon as I turn it off, the high side starts to decrease. So it can't be that big of a clog. probably the orifice tube. See, now it feels colder again. And this is a symptom I had. When I would slow down, it would get colder. And when I would drive faster, evidently the compressor was turning on and off. So what I'm going to have to do right now, I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to go get my Robin Air recovery unit. I'm going to pull the refrigerant out of the system. I'm going to go under the hood and I'm going to remove the orifice tube, which is that little plastic tube that goes inside, and see if something went wrong with that. And if that's the case, then I know what the problem is. If that isn't the case, I'm going to have to go to the back of this van and re-disconnect that evaporator where it has the expansion valve and see if maybe that expansion valve somehow got trash in it. So anyway, that's what I got to deal with. I don't want to, but I have to.